Hey everybody, give me 1 second and we'll get everyone in here. Lost Soul Skateboards, thanks for joining and for jumping on here with me. Ray, what's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Oh, that was so much easier.
Yeah.
We've been struggling lately
Oh,
with like
really?
tech. Yeah, it's been a bummer, but that was nice and easy.
Sick.
All right, we'll just give everyone a second to jump in here.
Yeah, no worries.
Carl, thanks for joining. Angel, thanks for joining. How you doing? F Most Styles, thanks for joining. Summerwood Music, thanks for joining.
Carl, what's up? Gabelle.
Cool.
Damn, a lot of skate homies, band
Yeah.
homies.
Sean and Emily, yep, thanks for joining. All right, cool. You have any questions for Ray, just drop them in the comments and we'll kind of read through them, or comments, whatever. And then, yeah, I'll read something off the start and then we'll jump right in. All right.
Sounds good.
Corey, thanks for joining. All right, so hello and welcome to the Bellwether Virtual Live Stream, where we discuss music, the local Lehigh Valley, PA scene, bands, social media, marketing, all sorts of stuff. Today is Wednesday, March 1st. My name is Mike, and I am the vocalist, guitarist of Bellwether Ritual. I hope you had a good week. We had a show at the Funhouse last weekend, opening for Stillcraft, so I just want to shout them out. They were awesome and treated us really great. Thanks to Ronnie and the guys for having us. And yeah, let's get into it. Our next guest also has some shows coming up, so we're going to be plugging that in a second and seeing what he's up to. This week we have Ray of Wipes and Lost Soul Skateboards. He is a musician, skateboarder, author, artist, so much more. We'll talk to him all about that and see what else we get into. Ray, welcome, and thanks for joining the stream.
Hey,
how are you doing tonight?
Good.
Cool.
I'm doing good. Thanks a lot for having me, showing interest in my crap.
Thanks for joining us on here. We appreciate it. Just really quick, is there anything off the top you want to plug or let everyone know about?
I mean, we got that Wipes first show since October is coming up, April 8th at Emmaus at King Coffee. That's pretty huge for us because of, we've went through some changes and work schedules have been insane for everyone. So it was cool to take some time off and just kind of like regroup. And I don't know, I'm super stoked about doing that. Yeah, April 8th, Saturday in Emmaus. It's going to be awesome. A good one.
Yeah.
With Ghost Wounds. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, we took a little bit of a break too. Had to like kind of reorganize and come back, and it was just really nice to get back out there and hang out with everyone, and yeah, good stuff. All right, so are you from the area originally, or did you like move in at some point?
No, I'm a long time Lehigh Valley person, so my whole life I just lived here. I went to high school at Emmaus.
Oh, cool. All right.
For now, I lived in here. I lived in like Truxertown as a kid growing up, so I've always been around here. Yeah,
cool.
This part of the scene for a long time.
And so I don't know. I know you from the music angle, but I've also watched a lot of your videos, and you're a big skateboarder. Like, what came first?
I mean, for me, it was skating first. A lot of people don't know my age because they just think when you get old, you stop doing what you love. So a lot of people do that and settle down, but I refuse. I refuse to give up the childhood dreams. And I don't know. I've been skating since '87 when I was a little kid, and I'm 47 and still riding. But I don't know. It makes me super happy. I love it. And music came later, like maybe in high school, like early 90s, I was in a band. And yeah, I don't know. 2000 to 2023, I just been doing bands every single year. It's been kind of wild. So 20 playing music. Yeah, it's been nuts.
That's awesome. Like, have you always had that kind of like drive since you were a kid, or is there like anything that brought that about?
I mean, I'm always doing something. Like if you can ask any of my friends, like I'm always involved in some kind of project, or I kind of can't sit still, even when it's like -10 outside or something weird. I like need to go outside like a little kid and go get the most of my day. But music and like skating is so important to me that it's like I literally live to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I have to do that to feel like a functioning human. It's just
Yep,
how it
I
is.
hear you.
Yeah. And the drive is just like, it's just in me to complete stuff. Like I hate being a non-completist. Like I
Mm,
hate projects that linger. I can't stand it. So I'll start and stop. I can't handle not finishing something. So no matter what, I'll work my ass off to get it done.
yeah, that's such a great. I don't want to say a habit, but it is kind of a habit, but like trait to have. JL Beats, thanks for joining. Idle Existence, thanks for joining. Any questions for Ray? Drop them on down in the comments, or just comments for Ray. We would appreciate it. All right. So, what like got you into skating to begin with? Was there? So I'm not a skater at all. The most I know about skating is like Tony Hawk Pro Skater in what I don't know what year was that. But that was a great combination of like that whole those kind of I don't know the same things you're talking about. Like the
Yeah.
kind of came together.
I mean, for me, it was watching a older half brother. I've told this story a few times, but it's pretty sick. So in like maybe 85, 86, 87, skating was getting really big on TV and ramps and stuff. Well, street skating started getting crazy in 87. And I never in my wildest dreams, I went to go visit a family member up in Old Forge where like some of my family lives. And my half brother went ahead and did a boneless off of a car and off my aunt's car off the bumper, and my head exploded. Like I've never, it's like seeing something for the first time or learning this crazy riff, and you're just like, I can't believe that just happened. So I was like reliving that excitement constantly as a kid, because skateboarding, there was like no rules, you know what I'm saying? So it's like whatever you did was cool. So if I wanted to run off of a curb or run off a loading dock and jump or whatever, I don't know, like it's literally no rules. So I just became so attracted to this, like the freedom. Like I wasn't locked into one area at one time. I can just go. It actually forces you to explore. Super cool. So
I
yeah.
feel like it's one of those mediums too. It's similar to music where you can like infuse a lot of your personality into it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, not everyone has to be the same either. That's the greatest thing. Like everyone could be all kooky and weird, your different outfits, but yet like you're doing somewhat the same thing. So it's like a brotherhood, you know, like it's really cool. So that's what attracted me to doing it. And I mean, I can't believe the friends I've made throughout the country and world just by skateboarding in these different places, you know? So I owe skateboarding like my life, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. I like what you said before about like seeing someone do something like that right in front of you. For me, it was like one of my friends came over with like a guitar, like you know, the build your own guitar kit guitar, and he like played a riff like right off the bat before he even really said anything, and it just blew me away. And then he taught it to me in like 2 minutes later, and just to be able to be like, oh wow, I can do that. Was there any moment like that for you in music or skateboarding? Like, so you went
Oh,
from seeing,
holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. The music end, it blew my mind. So I never played an instrument before. I always sang in bands, right? Carpenter
Mhm.
Ant, Fresh Meat, Bad American. I always sang, but and Grow back in high school. That's like super old for all my Emmaus High School alumni. But
Shout out.
but yeah, Yeah, for Tile, I wanted to make super fucking heavy music, and I was just like, the first time I bought a random bass. I had no equipment. I was playing out of a PA head, and I had no idea what tuning meant. But like you said, when you plug in and you hit that note, and it's just like echoes, and then feedback comes. I was just like, holy shit, I am fucking hooked. Like, I'm so impressed about that stuff. And then just making up something on it was so rad.
So right off the bat, you're writing songs.
Oh yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I tell the story of like our guitar player Tile Mike back in the day gave me a book to learn how to play bass, and I threw it back at him and I said, I'm gonna learn how to play the way I want to, and I appreciate you've been playing way longer than me, but I'm gonna learn my way. So it's funny, it's not embarrassing anymore, but I didn't even know what the dots on the neck were, because I made up my own alphabet on the back of the neck. So when you're holding guitar, I made up my own alphabet in the back, and I was writing songs that way. And then like not even like 3-4 weeks later, they were like, oh, the dots are odd numbers on the neck. And I was like, what? Really? No way. So I just became like super stoked. And then you start creating these, I don't know, like vibing. Like you hit a couple notes and like, dude, it's just like, oh, this could be a song, or I can actually write a song about like anyone or anything. So, I mean, some of the earliest Tile stuff is super minimal, but like, shit, like I think I wrote a song about my aunt passing away, and I still get super heartfelt, and like I get enraged that she left so soon, even though she had a long life. But I just get so pissed. So that anger of music, and then your emotions are all coming out. It just becomes like you're just addicted to that feeling. So it rules. That's why I love music, and I will still do it forever, probably. Even if it's by myself, I'll end up doing it later on in life.
Yeah, and I think that's a great part about it too. Is like you see people really up until the end of their life can do that. Man, you hit on so much stuff there.
Yeah,
So,
sorry.
no, it's cool.
It just comes out. I don't know.
Yeah. I still haven't written a song about losing someone like that close to me yet. I just haven't had it in me to.
It's hard, but to me,
I
it's
know.
like it's a great memory when we play. Like a really early one was about my aunt, and then there's a song called Father for Tile, where like my dad passed away, and I was like, I made a video, and like, shit, I can't tell you, I would get so crazy during these songs, but like my band members feed off that. Like they need it. They need me to like let it all out, because that's when they know it's like very like authentic and it's not forced. So I don't know, sing about people that you care about. That's probably the best advice I'd ever give anyone, like, because you'll get the most out of it, you know.
That's great. I lost my father also, so I feel you on that one. And yeah, just haven't gotten there yet. All right, so with bass, you have a very, like, I would think, a very distinct like bass tone. So when you first pick it up, I love the idea of writing things on the back. Like, why isn't the back of the neck full of places to? I guess it is. I don't know. Why haven't people really done anything with that? It's interesting to think about. Like, I think it's part of your mix in Wipes, but it seems like very bass centric. And just can you talk a little bit about like how you guys maybe came together, and then I love how you touched on the minimalism thing. I really enjoy that too. Just maybe how that all started.
Yeah, so like, well, first Tile was from like 2006 until like 2018, so it's like a really long time doing stuff. And we put out a ton of records, and we kind of came up with like the tone that we have. And but then like Mike was getting ready to settle down with his wife, so I was like, well, you know, Hex Records Skateboards, Ryan, rad dude, and he's asked me multiple times for an album from Tile, and I was like, I don't know, it can never line up the way it's supposed to. So when Mike left, I still wanted to do a band, and that's when Mikey and I decided to still stay together, and we're like, we'll just find a new guitar player. So Matt came in the picture, and then he started recording us. Well, he's been recording us for years for multiple projects. So it just made sense to try and get him in the mix. And then, yeah, the bass is like still really centered, I think, like a lot of people say. Like it's very pronounced, but like I love early Melvin's tone, like bass tone and guitar tone. It's like so sick. I think like that's like kind of like between that and like really floor stuff is like what I love about heavy music. So those have been like my go-tos forever. So it's kind of like how we also slowed down some stuff and made it a little bit more indie on the Wipes record, which is cool because I've never tried to like, God, I've been doing bands for 23 years, and I actually tried to sing on this last record, and I was like practicing and like stuff I would never do, and like warming up and like practicing to hold notes. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, seriously, it's like I actually really tried, and I was like, let's just really mess with people and show them that like there can be a little bit of a softer side, but still got to have those heavy doomers and like those really like crucial jams. So yeah, I just wanted like a well-rounded record, and that's kind of where the bass tone stayed. So
Very cool. And I think I always thought it makes the heavy parts heavier, like when you just
yes,
back off it a little bit, and
yeah,
then it's almost like a slingshot, or I don't know. So you get like momentum, so when you can come back into it, it just crushes. All
yeah.
right. So one thing you just mentioned was Tile had like a very long history. Do you have like a secret to band longevity or anything like that?
So I know I'm not always the easiest to work with, but I can admit it. But I have like I don't ever want band practice to be like we meet up once a week and this is our guys' night out type thing. Like that's kind of stupid to me. So I want to go out and like play music, do shows. Like Carpenter Ant for 2007, we did like multiple tours across the US, like the Midwest.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, like I don't care about sleeping on the floor or screaming at each other in a band. I'm like, it's sick. Like that's how you become like a person. You like grow up, you know? So the longevity with Tile was like we went through multiple drummers. Oh my God, I think we went through at least 3, ended on our 4th one with Mikey. But like it's just like if you don't have like albums to work or releases, then it's kind of like, what are you doing? It's just like, are you meeting up to play songs? Cool.
Yeah.
But to me, if you have a chance to make an album or make a 7-inch and someone else is even interested, or I think I put out some of our stuff before just to put it out, like it's kind of like I want to make like a bookmark for my bands for the rest of time. So I don't want shit to be on like your computer, on your laptop. I want you to be holding like a physical record to be like, okay, this was real. Like this happened during these days, and this is what it sounds like. So kind of like making an artifact, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. Did you
Yeah.
did you DIY book the tours? I'm just curious about that. That's one thing I need to check off my list. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I mean, we basically for so many years doing bands, like you meet and greet people. You're like hosting shows, or it's just like that's what's so sick about punk stuff is just like you're in charge of your fate for these projects. So you're just gonna go ahead and if you want to book it, you're gonna book it. So for me, I'm actually very lucky because the skateboarding crosses over with music. So I can usually like book a show, but also book like I don't know, there's like other people who do the same shit as us. So it's just like, well, how about we meet up during the day and we skate for a little bit and then like play this show at night. And then if you just hook us up with like a place to stay, I'm not really worried about money. Cause like I work for a living, like I have money, I save money to go on tour. And so instead of like working paycheck to paycheck and freaking out over money all the time, I just put a lot away so I can go and do these tours. So yeah, it's a lot of networking over the years, forever. And most of those people who are passionate about music still keep in touch, like still never stop doing what they're doing as you get older. So it's pretty cool. I love it. Love the networking.
Yeah, that's the one thing. So for the longest time, I was more of like well, I'll just try to get really good at this, and like talent leads the way. It's like, no, you got to get out there and meet people. Yeah.
Got to meet people, show your face. I mean, a lot of people are so nice online, and then you meet them and they're just the biggest fucking jerks. And you're like, why did I do this to myself? Like, yeah, so listen on who I asked to do shows, because it's kind of like, well, their character better be up to my par. So like, I don't want something weird or sketchy to happen, or like there a bunch of people are just like late all the time and everything just gets pushed back. Like I don't have time for that. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool once you get it down. So
reflects poorly on you too.
Yeah.
So did you have the skate video What Remains? Was that was that the Emmaus Theater? Yeah.
Yep.
Was it? Oh, that's cool. Yeah. You just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Rob's super cool. So Rob at the theater is always down for any of my ideas to do like premieres, and it's our second video premiere there. We did last year on June. And then we did we did a July, we dropped a video July in like South Carolina too, with the Irving shop that he rides for, Blue Tile. But like, no, it's just like every so many years, it's like you said, it's like, you can release this stuff or not. So I kind of like an ask to my guys, and I'm like, like, what are we doing? Like, we film each other, we have multiple cameras, like, let's make this documentation of a time. So I don't know. And then this get everyone together in the room and have it watched on the big, like, it's so cool. Like, to think that like you put yourself out there and the whole world sees it now. So besides YouTube, laptop, so I was super psyched to have it on the theater.
Yeah, very cool. I think JP of Ghost of Fukang Walker was the first, because he's a skater, I know.
Yep.
He, I think he was the one who turned me on to that you guys are doing that. I missed it, but I thought that was really cool. You played a show there too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we did like our first Swipe show there, and then we did like a Tile record release show there. So
cool.
Yeah, Rob's awesome, and it's like, I'm always down to support local businesses. Like, the only way we're going to survive all this nonsense is if we work together. So I've always said that. I stay true to it. A lot of people are like, and I'm like, no, like, we all got to work together. It's the only way we're going to make these days get by. So shout out to Rob Theater, Emmaus Theater, super cool.
Awesome. If you guys have any questions for Ray, drop them in the comments below, or you just want to comment, that's fine too. Do you want to take a second to plug stuff again, or that's up to you, really?
We could do that at the end. I mean,
sure.
It doesn't really matter. It's just, I don't want to beat a dead horse about come out to our show April 8th and watch us lose it and like play really heavy. So I don't know. I miss playing so badly, and now I had to change a few things. So it's gonna be rad. Like, there's a new vibe. I see things way clearer now. Like, It's been a wild ride since October till now, for sure.
All right. So it sounds like you know you're talking about the skateboarding thing and the band side and about working with and collaborating with people and all that sort of thing. And I feel like chemistry is a really big thing. And it sounds like when you found your drummer, you're like, all right, he's the guy. You just maybe talk about what you're looking for in bandmates or skating. You know, when you're skating with people, what?
Okay. I mean, it's two types of things. So like bandmates, shit, like I've been with Mikey. I've been like Mikey's band dad for over 9 years. And I saw him listen, it's like you see someone play once, you know you're losing a drummer. You see someone play once, and immediately I was so blown away by that young kid. And as he just like, I found out that his band was ending, I was like, I gotta get this kid involved. So I had him for like Bad American, and then I also had him for Tile, and then now for Wipes. But it's just like, there's got to be good chemistry. There's got to be good like the vibes got to be right there. You know what I mean? Like, we're not trying to outdo each other. We just like, most of the time, some of the stuff we write is the best at the beginning of the session before we even go songs. And it's just me playing a repetitive beat as the other two are just loosening up and playing along. And then I'm like, oh, song. So I usually just look for like, you know, someone who has their head on their shoulders. There's no extra drama. Like, yo, Glory Torch. Yes, John. Absolutely. That was a good one. But yeah, so it's just like, you just look for all that stuff. And the same with skating. Like, I'm not too particular of like who can come with us or be in our videos, but you got to hang out with us. Like, you could be the coolest dude ever and you can skate amazing. Like, a lot of these kids are super cool. But if you can't meet on time or get in the car and go to the shittiest, grossest spots that we go to and try and get clips and don't argue, then you can't hang with us. So it's like, I don't know. Some people can get down. Some people think it's too much pressure. I've had dudes say like, this can't handle filmed, but I'm like, this is what we do. Like, we just go out there and we hang out, joke around. I mean, when I have a really bad car, I usually like run into a lot of stuff and like don't care, run into shopping carts. We're always laughing. Shoot. Yeah, it's like really fun. So I'm like, I don't want bad vibes like on these trips. So you got to be able to put in the work. And if you see, a lot of people don't see a bigger picture. So it's like, if you don't see an end result, then you're not going to like get anywhere. So I kind of do that with like everything that I do. So chemistry is key, like you said, though. Yeah.
Yeah, or no, I feel like to your point, or even know what to do if you don't have that kind of vision of, you know, you just kind of flounder around. When you do have that goal or the vision, it's just like, all right, well, all we have to figure out how to do is get there. Like, that's like a hard,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
the
it.
big part of it.
Yeah,
I didn't realize. So, yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
No, I just wanted to quick say I wasn't keeping up on everyone joining, so I'm sorry if I missed your comments. Let's see. Deep Pocket says, "Hell yeah!" I met Deep Pockets last weekend at the shows. Just wanted to say thanks for you know, introducing yourself to me and for jumping in on here weekly. I appreciate it. Queen Slate 234, thanks for joining. JP of Ghost of Fukang Walker. I didn't even know you were in here. Thank you for joining. All right. Actually, so you hit on something really funny before because I was going to ask you about it, but I didn't want to, I don't know. Sometimes it's a little weird because it's a very musical thing, but like vocal warm-ups.
Yeah.
So that's just something yeah. Like, so before, I know you're talking about singing and holding notes a little bit more recently, but yeah, was that kind of the impetus to do that? I do always a warm-up or you just kind of let it rip?
I mean, now I always warm up, but it's like over the years, like you've learned to like not destroy your vocal cords before, like during the first song. So like, it's kind of like, all right, well, now like at band practice, we kind of chill song first, and then I slowly warm up. But on the way to practice, I'm also warming up. So when you have to drive for like a half an hour, I kind of started this thing where I'm like, all right, well, soon as I get in the car, I just start doing it, and just warming up, getting ready, because I've written records where like my voice is blown out by the second song, and I have like 8 more to go, and I have to like cancel the recording, because like I wasn't thinking, or going to tape, and you have to do the whole take in the one try, and it doesn't always work that way. So yeah, now this, I don't know, I think like my voice is kind of where it's at, but now it just feels weird when it's like well sung. So I'm just like, all right, I guess this is like a thing now,
Yeah.
Which is exciting because it's hard.
I was gonna
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to sing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think both sides see the other side as like difficult, so it's cool to bounce back and forth between them.
Yeah.
So like starting with the more like harsher vocals, where like are you doing the same thing like to find that originally? I always found that was kind of an interesting process. Are you just like driving around in your car like belting it out, or is there like a place that you had that you would go, or you just do it in front of anyone and see what happened?
Well, I mean, practicing is one thing. A lot of like stuff that I write for like vocal patterns and stuff, I kind of do it on the way to work in the morning, because I just like say random stuff to feel stuff out. Yeah. So I'm really in the zone, but then sometimes I record a lot of our practices too, like either on my phone. In the past, I used to carry around a tape cassette. So I would just constantly record everything. And then in the car, I would just think of some stuff and then just try and let it out. Like, let it out whenever you feel like it. So even if it's just like not even like a real word, like it's gibberish, at least you get a pattern, or you just get like a yell where you're, oh shit, that would be really sick right there. Maybe I should do that. So yeah, that's mostly how I do it. I mean, a lot of stuff I can't on the way to work, like on a dark road. I work really early morning, so I only have a half-hour drive, but I just write stuff down or yell or just like mimic rhythms. And then I'm like, all right, cool. If I have a rhythm on how the vocals are going to go, then once I figure out then I know what to practice. But yeah, I do a lot of yelling in the car for sure. A lot of yelling in the car. I can say it's
such a great place for that.
It's kind of funny. Yeah. No one's around. It's my own studio.
Yeah, exactly. And it's mobile.
Yeah.
Mike, thanks for joining. Jacob, thanks for joining. And Five and Dime Easton, thanks for joining.
Skate shop in Easton, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Sick. Yep.
All right. Yeah, we can keep bouncing back and forth between. I want to get to writing children's books and Hex Records too.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know which way you want to go, if you have a preference.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we'll start with the children's book. It started as like a joke, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was like a guy, a friend of my work, Jacob, who is part of the book, is just like a kid I met at work. And I was like, I've been in terrible warehouse jobs for most of my life, and I know how it's not the easiest to get through. So I just befriended him, and we started sharing some stories. And next thing you know, I started writing some like small few page caricatures and stuff of some characters, and I would go read it to him every day and make him laugh and forget about how bad this place was that we worked in. And I was like, just to get those moments of like forgetting how bad a warehouse job is, it feels pretty good. So then we just became like, all right, well, I'll see where this goes from here. And then, I made a few pages, and I made 4 pages, and I started like handing friends and family. And then one of my friends said, hey, you might want to try and make this into a real zine or a book or something. I don't know. I pitched the idea to my wife, Michelle, and she was like, well, who do you know? And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should try the Bethlehem Library. Like, I'm friends with Josh. Like, he seems like a cool guy. I had no idea. I had no idea he was an executive director there. I was just like, I just thought he was cool. Mm-hmm. So next thing you know, we had a meeting, and he looked at it, paged through it, like, you wrote this and drew this? I'm like, yeah, it's just like it's like a board graphic to me. So it's not like it's really hard to do. And then out of nowhere, it was like, all right, cool. All right, you think you can write 4 more books? And I was like, okay. And he's like, well, how about 1 a year? I'm like, okay. So I was like, well, it'd be cool that we incorporate like the local community and like the local places and like this, make it really neat. So yeah, we signed it up. It's sick. Like a book a year through the Bethlehem Library, and it's all hand drawn. And my friend Adam takes pictures and lays it out for me. We were both like working together. Everything I try and do, I incorporate my friends who do cool stuff. So it's not like, and I make sure that they're like taken care of too. So I'm just like, there's no loose ends, and like everyone's like paid for their effort and their time. And if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So it's just like sick. So
that's the big one.
I saw you at
me.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then that's just how it started. And now it's like a book a year. It's freaking really cool. So all my friends who have kids, I'm just trying to instill like some inspiring moments. Or like when we were kids, no one had like cell phones. Okay, no one. You mean you got to use it? Like it's just a thing. So it's like, how do you meet people? You got to talk to them. You got to say what's up. You go to like, I used to go to a Jamesway in Truxertown and ride my bike that the chain would pop. Yeah, my chain would 4 or 5 times on my mountain bike to get there. But I knew there'd be skaters there, and we'd skate a curb and skate a curb cut and talk some shop, talk about hardcore and bands and what show's going on this weekend. And then I ride that shitty bike home. So it's kind of like, I just want to instill some kind of, I don't know, friendships. You can still meet friends no matter what you're doing. So to me, meeting someone in person and exchanging stuff is like a lifelong lesson. So yeah, that's where like the books came from for sure. I know it's a lot to take in, but I'm stoked that I get to like be a part of people's lives.
Yeah, I mean that's an amazing goal to have, and to have multiple ways of like you saying, like leave something behind for everyone. It's pretty awesome. You also had like characters, the characters in the book 3D modeled, right?
Yeah. So
that's
Ben
cool.
from I can't believe Ben made it 3D. So everything's been 2D, and that's just like regular on the paper. But then I kind of pitched Ben some like Ben Roysden like some ideas on how to make this 3D, and he was like, whoa, you want to make toys? And I'm like, yeah, like I want to, I want to merchandise. I want to make cool things, because I want to basically make one for me and maybe a couple for my nieces, then maybe nephews, and then all right, cool, then we'll make a few more after that to sell to people. So Ben made that come to life, and I can't thank him enough, because they're freaking cool. Like I can't believe the characters are like real characters. So I don't know. I think this year when we do the book in the fall, I'm trying to work on another toy idea, but I think I'm gonna keep it a secret for now. So but yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool for sure if I can make it happen. It's not guaranteed. It's like 80% for me to try. All you gotta do is meet someone instead of doing an email, and I feel like I can get what I need out of them. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's always like talking about what you did, not what you think's gonna happen.
Yeah. So I want an understanding for that stuff for sure.
All right, so JP says a car is every vocalist's safe space. I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that one for sure.
Libertad, sorry, I butchered your name, has a heart. Thank you.
Yeah, Liberator Adam, yeah.
Oh, sorry, man.
It's cool. Adam's the one that does the book with me and shoots a lot of my skate photos, so he's a good homie.
Yeah, Brainstorm Skateboards, thanks for joining. Quibop, thanks for joining. Taco Island, thanks for joining. Any questions, you can always drop them down in the comments and we'll get to them. All right. So actually that kind of oh man, where should we go here? I think yeah, it seems like you are big on connections and like really reaching out and trying to establish relationships with people and that sort of thing. Is that so? When you're in your car, like belting it out, and you're looking for like lyrics, I'm thinking like whites making friends. You're kind of tying that in there too. Um, are you just kind of doing the gibberish thing and then you kind of hear words or like, oh, that kind of sounds like this, which would be a cool theme for a song, or like how does that come about? Or do you have something like you just have a list of stuff you want to write about and you're just going down the list?
Sometimes, but it's also like casual conversations. That's why it's really important
Mm,
to talk to people.
mm,
So some people will just say certain things or just hit you up, or out of nowhere someone up, and I'll just be like, grab a paper and just write it, a pen and write it
mm,
down real quick, or I'll
mm,
say it into my phone just so I have the idea. Uh, Even though like Matt's not in the band anymore, because he went to focus on his studio and
mhm.
his family and stuff, which is totally understandable. We got Ben now, but Matt gave me some of the best advice ever, all my friends, and told me to write from the heart. And he said probably the best lyrics you'll ever write are like from the heart. So say what you want. So between like him and I think like Dave Grohl said the same thing one time in an interview I listened, and I was like, damn, like I should just write from the heart, just write how I feel. So like, yeah, on the Wipes record, all those feelings of the fucking some of those doomers, like Parasite, like people are parasites sometimes, and it's just like they just suck the life out of you. It's awful. Or like that really sad song called what the hell? I'm so bad. I don't even have the record in front of me. There's a really chill one where it's just say it's basically like I just don't want to be around here. Like God, I can't. I'm like blanking right now.
I can't remember the name of it, but you played it. I saw you at the Bethlehem Public Library, and it was the
Yeah.
opening song, and it was like you kind of um, were like I don't know, it was playing behind the nut and then also playing the riff. It was really kind
Oh
of an
yeah.
interesting
That's I.
thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, that
Right.
was
Yeah.
different. Yeah. So, but like like that one, I wrote like a lot of stuff during COVID. So I would write all the time in my bathroom of all places. I would just put this little speaker in there and I plug it really small. I only have a small ranch house. So this really small room echoed really nice with this little like Epiphone thing. So I just write all these riffs and then, bring them to practice, and like Mikey's a genius. Like he literally can play anything on drums. So I'm
Nice.
just playing him
Yeah.
these riffs, and then out of nowhere, I just look at everyone. I'm like, we should have like a really spooky beginning, and then that's how that song started. But yeah, that song I think is like I don't want to be here, and then I give reasons for that chill song. I was like I'm like replaying that, but yeah, just how about this? Not making stuff so impossible to dissect. So I just don't want to be here, and I gave you all the reasons I don't want to be here. So it's just like it's very simple. Don't look too deep. And I'm giving you the reasons of like conversations, hospitals, like all this other stuff that like shit, like your friends arguing, like you just don't want to be here, but you have to be here. So yeah, I mean, yeah, right from the heart. Matt was always right. So, and Dave Grohl, like
It's hard to go wrong.
both on the
Yeah.
same level to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Um,
really cool.
so, you kind of have to like say like recently got a new drummer and kind of starting not from scratch by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like it's good and bad. Like there's some fresh blood that comes in, there's some new ideas, but there's always songs that are gonna like feel different no matter what. Um, yeah, you just maybe I don't know if you want to talk about that or not, but I just think that's always an
Yeah,
interesting
for
kind of thing.
sure. Well, it's just like you can kind of I mean, I've dealt with tons over the years. If you really think about it, so many freaking band members in and out. Like, one's going away for so many months, and I find someone to fill in for so many months, and then they go back, or this whole breakups of screaming at me, and they're struggling with their life, and then next thing you know, like 4 years later, they're sending me an email saying they're apologizing for how terrible they were to me, even though like I drive 3 hours round trip to get them to a show to go on tour, you know, like, so I don't know. Ben from LA Fast Life is our new guitar player. So he has been in like Gods and Queens, LA Fast Life. He gets it. He knows what it's like to be on the road. So what I want to do, and Mikey knows it too, it's like, I want to play shows. We have opportunities to go places, and like, people want us there just from the tile history. So they really dig Wipes. They think it's a little bit more melodic on certain things, but it's still pretty heavy. So yeah, adding Ben, it's not really, it's a little difficult, but after last practice, I was like, shit, we're ready to play. Like,
yeah.
six practices, that guy learned like the whole set list. And I'm like, Mikey and I looked at each other and we're like, okay, we have like a whole nother month of practice for this show, and then we'll start playing. So, and we started writing stuff the last 2 weeks just to see what the vibe was.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know he's gonna bring some like heavier influences, like early 90s heavier influences. So, God, I don't know. I feel like I'm the weak link because I'm surrounded by people who are way better. But maybe it's always like a good combination when you ever think about it. So everything will work out for you on drums too. Yeah. You just gotta, I've learned to be a little bit more patient and take a step back and be like, all right, well, like, I forget that I've been playing this riff in my head for a whole week and they're just hearing it for the first time, you know? Yeah.
I always thought it was interesting too, like teaching, like you come up with a riff and like, even I'm very similar where it's like always be recording, just always have something around where you can just quick grab something, because you'll end up logging so much stuff, and then eventually it kind of joins together with other stuff, and then these cool things happen from that. I forget where I was going with that.
No, it makes sense.
Shit. Okay, so let me just quickly, I know Johnny joined. Thank you. I know you were recording, but I thank you for jumping in there. Yeah, lowbrow, highbrow art, thanks for joining. Yeah, okay, we're just going to wrap up, I think, a little bit here. We got about 10 more minutes. So if you do have any questions, throw them in, and I actually will look at them this time. Sorry about that. Okay, cool. So after, I guess what I wanted to hit on too, like what you said, is you kind of are always experimenting, right? So you're practicing, and we just had this moment too that you said that's why it's just resonating. Where like you're gonna see if it works, and you're trying and and then it just kind of clicks, and it's like, okay, I can see how this moves forward now, or how we're gonna play this show, or all that kind of stuff. We had to cover an hour recently, which is something we like never had to do before, and that's just a long time, I think, to play.
Pretty long. We've never played more than a half hour. Yeah,
that's kind of what I like. That's just what the gig was, and that was totally cool. But it was just made us think differently of like, all right, how are we gonna rearrange this stuff to kind of keep it interesting the whole time? When you play, how about this? I actually have some live questions. Are you the kind of person, like, you talk about connecting with people so much, like, do you have like, I don't want to say rules, but like I have a rule, like try to look out at the crowd as much as possible, and connect with them visually somehow, or in some way. Is there anything like that for you, or?
Oh, the tricks of the trade.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Seriously, I mean, I've been doing it for a really long time. That's so true. It's like I'm very into like very out, always looking out, always not pretend. Like, even if you don't know what you're doing, just pretend you do know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If something sucks, make it better. But eye contact is key.
Yeah.
I have weirded out some of the looking people at shows for playing riffs, and they come over afterwards and they're ready to kill me, and they're like, "Why were you looking at me that way?" And I was like, "This, because I just fucking felt like you needed to be looked at that way." And when I'm playing music, I don't care about anything right now. So I just want to say, or I just want someone, I'll just stare at someone a few times where it's very awkward, and then they'll come over and I'll be like, I just want to know like what you're up to or what were you thinking during that song. And then I don't know, it's just interacting. I've like done it. I've used to throw stuff at people to get their attention if I catch them on their cell phones while like a cell phone right in front of me texting, I'd be like losing it, smacking it out of their hands. So yeah, crowd interacting is always key.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but I think
contact.
Yeah, like what you said, like once you do it so much, it becomes kind of second nature. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher people's names. F. McStyles, other than crud, what bands made Ray want to rage and sing when he was a kid?
Oh my God. Well, they know that crud's one of my favorites. I don't know, like crud, let's say like Downcast of all things, that band from like back in Evolution days. 90s hardcore, like Youth Crew, Mouthpiece, Damnation AD. I love Dead Guy still to this day. Dead Guy is probably one of the, talk about an impressional band. But seeing those guys play around here when I was a kid, I was like, holy shit, that stuff was sick.
I was going to say, I feel like the hardcore scene around here is still going pretty well.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. Yeah, a lot of newer bands for sure, but it's still cool. Yeah.
Is that National Circles? When was that? Maybe about a month ago.
Oh yeah, Controller,
Cool
Tyler,
show.
and them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, were you there too?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was at Controller. Yeah, it was good. Controller and Pain Strikes, two newer bands that I'm like very psyched up. Yeah. I snuck in late. Yeah, I snuck late.
Nice.
Got this whole second job thing going on now, so. Well, actually, it's probably like my fourth or fifth job now, but it's I'm apprenticing as a Freedom Tattoo. So my friend Vince is teaching me how to tattoo, so I can give permanent art pieces from now on. So it'll be a long way, but I at least started. But that was like one of the first few nights that I actually started apprenticing, so that's why I missed like most of the show.
Oh, very cool.
A lot of those, 90s hardcore is awesome. I love it. It was some of my favorite stuff.
John Amley says, I'm always worried about giving serial killer vibes. Oh, I guess you mean on stage. Like, he's always worried about freaking people out, giving them serial killer vibes. But, I don't know, maybe you should lean into it.
No, lean into it. Stare at them, like, make them feel like they're doing something wrong. Back in the day, I used to smack drinks out of people's hands. Or if I was in a good mood, I smack down. If I was in a bad mood, I smack up. So they get to drink all over themselves. I mean, it was definitely different back then. So now I just try and make them feel weird. That's it. Let it all out. Good therapy session.
Yeah. Well, I don't want you to encourage him. He's actually a tattoo artist too. He's our bass player. He tattoos out of Stroudsburg, I think Third Dimension, if I'm not mistaken. I should know that, but yeah. All right. I mean, I feel like it's a pretty good place. Like we're pretty much at time anyway. If no one has any more questions, why don't we just plug that show one more time, and anything else you want to let people know where they can find you or follow you? And
So April 8th, Saturday, Wipes and Ghost Wounds at King Mass. 2 bands, super simple, Saturday night. Wipes band. Wipes is on Instagram, and same with like Lost Soul Skateboards, obviously. And I don't know, like my advice thing is like lot of people, I always like to remind people that if any situation or any problem, if you can see the beginning, middle, and end before you even attack this stuff, you've already done it. You already won it. It's like songs, writing songs, drawing, doing art pieces. Like for me, skateboarding tricks, shit. Like I wanted to do an album. I knew in my mind how I wanted the album to happen. Yeah, I saw the beginning, middle, and end, and it's been the best advice. And then my friend Charlie, also really dope person of mine, said the last thing I'll leave you with is like, don't let anyone dictate your life's choices. It's your life. You do what you got to do to make yourself happy, your friends and family. So if you do that shit, you'll fall apart. So don't let anyone dictate your stuff. And thanks a lot, Mike, for letting me do this.
Yeah, man, great note to end on. Thank you all for sticking in there and participating and watching. Next week we got Gravel Gut up, which is another awesome. I feel like Lehigh Valley is kind of making a comeback. Well, I don't know about a comeback. It's always kind of been there, but like it's really starting to bubble back up to the top. Some great bands out there. So yeah, go.
We'll see you guys around then.
And yeah, sounds good. Thanks so much, Ray.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Take care. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.